In Japan, a nationwide hunt for missing elderly citizens has unveiled a shocking reality. The search began when authorities discovered the mummified remains of a man believed to be the country's oldest, who had actually died 30 years earlier, with his daughter pocketing his pension payments. This sparked a series of checks on elderly residents, revealing countless cases of missing centenarians. The staggering number of unaccounted for elderly individuals has been attributed to several factors, including outdated record-keeping systems and unreported deaths during post-war turmoil. However, the revelations have also shed light on deeper societal issues in Japan. Traditional family structures, once the backbone of Japanese society, are becoming increasingly unstable. The rise of dual-income households has left many women overburdened, making it difficult to care for aging relatives. Consequently, a growing number of elderly individuals are living and dying alone, a phenomenon known as lonely death. Economic stagnation has further exacerbated the problem, driving up suicide rates and petty crimes among the elderly. Some resort to shoplifting out of necessity or as a means of seeking attention. Waiting lists for public care homes are long, but many prefer solitude over institutionalization. Perhaps most surprising is the revelation that some families have deliberately concealed the deaths of elderly relatives to continue claiming their pensions. This has challenged the perception of the Japanese as strictly law-abiding citizens. The case of Japan's missing centenarians reflects a society grappling with profound changes and challenges. It highlights the need for improved support systems and a re-evaluation of societal values to ensure the well-being of its aging population. In an incredible tale of survival, a young woman named Jean Hilliard endured being frozen solid for 6 hours in the harsh Minnesota winter. After losing control of her vehicle on an icy road, she set out on foot to seek help from a friend living nearby. Tragically, she stumbled and lost consciousness in the frigid -30°C temperature. It wasn't until 6 hours later that her friend discovered her, frozen stiff in his front yard. Rushing her to the hospital, doctors were amazed to find a few bubbles emerging from her nose, indicating a faint sign of life. Despite the challenges of treating her frozen body, they began the slow process of warming her up. Miraculously, by mid-morning, Jean awoke, defying all expectations. Her survival is a testament to the incredible resilience of the human body and the dedication of the medical professionals who refused to give up on her, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. The assassination of John F. Kennedy has spawned a vast array of conspiracy theories, with numerous individuals and entities being accused of involvement in the plot. These theories allege the complicity of various groups, such as the CIA, the military-industrial complex, organized crime, the Cuban government under Fidel Castro, and even Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson. Some theories suggest that multiple gunmen were involved, firing from different locations in Dealey Plaza, while others propose that evidence was tampered with or fabricated to frame Lee Harvey Oswald as the lone assassin. Proponents of conspiracy theories point to perceived inconsistencies in witness testimony, physical evidence, and the official investigation conducted by the Warren Commission. They argue that the Commission's conclusion that Oswald acted alone was flawed and that a larger conspiracy was at play. Many theories revolve around the idea of a cover-up, with allegations of witness intimidation, suppression of evidence, and alteration of the president's body to conceal the true nature of his wounds. The House Select Committee on Assassinations, which conducted a separate investigation in the late 1970s, concluded that there was a probable conspiracy behind the assassination, although it did not identify any specific individuals or groups responsible. This finding has further fueled speculation and debate among researchers and the public. Despite the official findings of the Warren Commission and the lack of conclusive evidence to support many of the conspiracy theories, a significant portion of the American public continues to believe that there was a conspiracy behind the assassination of President Kennedy. The enduring fascination with this tragic event has led to the publication of numerous books, articles, and documentaries exploring various aspects of the case and proposing alternative explanations for what transpired on that fateful day in Dallas. Jimmy Hoffa, a prominent American labor union leader, mysteriously disappeared in 1975 and was declared legally dead in 1982, although his body has never been found. Hoffa became involved with organized crime from the early years of his career with the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, eventually rising to the position of the union's general president. He played a significant role in expanding the union's membership and securing the first national agreement for truckers' rates. However, Hoffa's ties to the mafia ultimately led to his downfall. He was convicted of jury tampering, attempted bribery, conspiracy, and mail and wire fraud in 1964, resulting in his imprisonment. After his release, Hoffa's attempts to regain control of the Teamsters were met with resistance from various mafia figures. On the day of his disappearance, Hoffa had gone to a meeting with two mafia leaders at a restaurant in a Detroit suburb. He was last seen by witnesses in the restaurant's parking lot. Extensive investigations by multiple law enforcement agencies have failed to conclusively determine Hoffa's fate or identify those responsible for his disappearance. Theories abound as to what happened to Hoffa and where his body might be, with some claiming he was murdered by the mafia and others suggesting he was buried in various locations, such as underneath a stadium or in a landfill. Despite the lack of closure, Hoffa's disappearance remains one of the most enduring mysteries in American history, and his legacy as a controversial labor leader continues to be debated. In a story that challenges our understanding of the role genetics and environment play in shaping our lives, a set of identical twin brothers, both named Jim by their adoptive parents, were separated at birth and grew up in different families, unaware of each other's existence. Despite their separate upbringings, the twins' lives followed uncannily similar paths. Both pursued careers in law enforcement, one as a security guard and the other as a deputy sheriff. They shared a love for mechanical drawing and woodworking, and both married women named Linda, only to divorce and remarry women named Betty. Astonishingly, both couples named their sons James Allen and James Allen, and even owned dogs named Toy. The twins' adoptive families, by sheer coincidence, vacationed at the same beach in Florida, though at different times. When one of the twins decided to search for his biological family, he successfully located his brother, and the two were reunited in an emotional meeting that captured the public's imagination. Scientists, intrigued by the twins' story, included them in a study that examined the similarities between identical twins raised apart. The results were striking, revealing nearly identical medical histories, brainwave tests, and personality profiles. This remarkable case highlights the complex interplay between genetics and environment in shaping human development. While genetics undoubtedly played a significant role in the twins' shared traits and life choices, the influence of their unique environments cannot be discounted. The story of the Jim twins serves as a fascinating example of how nature and nurture work together to mold an individual's life, and it continues to inspire research into the mysteries of human development. John Lilly was a physician, neuroscientist, psychoanalyst, philosopher, writer, and inventor who made significant contributions to various fields, including biophysics, neurophysiology, electronics, and computer science. He is best known for his work in developing the isolation tank, a dark, soundproof tank of warm salt water in which subjects could float for long periods in sensory isolation. Lilly saw the tanks as a means to explore the nature of human consciousness, and later combined this work with his efforts to communicate with dolphins. Lilly's research took him in unconventional directions, including the study of dolphin cognition and communication, as well as personal experimentation with psychedelic drugs like LSD, often while floating in isolation. He believed these experiences could offer insights into the nature of consciousness and the mind. Throughout his career, Lilly developed a unique perspective on the relationship between the mind and the body, as well as the potential for communication with other intelligent life forms. He coined the term Earth Coincidence Control Office to describe a hypothetical cosmic entity responsible for coordinating coincidences in human lives. Lilly's work inspired various cultural references, including novels, films, and video games. His ideas, while sometimes controversial, pushed the boundaries of scientific understanding and continue to captivate people's imaginations. Despite his unconventional approach, Lilly's contributions to the study of consciousness and interspecies communication have left a lasting impact on the scientific community and popular culture alike. In a small town in New York, a peculiar sight captured the attention of passers-by for nearly a decade. The porch of a historic house built in the mid-19th century was home to a trio of life-sized mannequins. These inanimate residents were no ordinary store displays. They underwent mysterious transformations, their clothing, hairstyles, and props changing without any apparent human intervention. The mannequins held an array of items, from birdcages to books, each new arrangement adding to the aura of intrigue surrounding the house. Despite the curiosity of the community, no one ever witnessed the mannequins being moved or altered, leading some to speculate about supernatural influences at play. The house itself has a long and somewhat troubled history, with connections to early colonial settlers and two nearby tragedies, a devastating train derailment and a fire that consumed several surrounding buildings. These events, occurring in close proximity to the house, have fueled theories that the mannequins might represent the spirits of those who perished, their eerie presence a manifestation of unresolved pain and loss. While the true origins and purpose of the mannequins remain unknown, their enduring presence has become an integral part of the house's lore. John Quincy St. Clair, an enigmatic figure who emerged in the early 2000s, filed a series of bizarre patents that pushed the boundaries of conventional science and technology. His inventions delved into the realm of science fiction, encompassing concepts such as walking through walls, full-body teleportation, magnetic vortex wormholes, and electric dipole spacecraft. These patents, with their fantastical claims and unconventional ideas, piqued the interest of many who stumbled upon them. One of St. Clair's patents focused on an electric dipole propulsion system and spacecraft, proposing the use of electromagnetic plates to generate lift and propel a vehicle upwards. Another patent, titled Walking Through Walls Training System, aimed to create a simulated environment where individuals could experience the sensation of passing through solid objects, challenging the fundamental laws of physics as we understand them. St. Clair's inventions extended beyond the realm of physical transportation and into the metaphysical. He patented a device called the remote viewing amplifier, which he claimed could enhance one's ability to perceive distant locations and even facilitate communication with entities from other dimensions by tapping into the energy fields generated by the human body. The backstory St. Clair provided for his inventions only added to the intrigue surrounding his work. He spoke of a serendipitous discovery of teleportation while in the vicinity of an airport and shared anecdotes of his experiences with remote viewing and alleged contact with extraterrestrial beings. These claims, while unverified, contributed to the mysterious aura that enveloped St. Clair and his patents. Despite the attention his patents garnered, little is known about John Quincy St. Clair's background, qualifications, or true motivations. Many of his patents were ultimately abandoned, leaving a trail of unanswered questions in their wake. Some speculate about potential ties to secretive government programs or classify him as a passionate enthusiast of speculative technology, while others remain skeptical of the validity of his claims. In the early 2000s, an individual claiming to be an American military time traveler from the year 2036 made waves on internet forums under the pseudonyms John Titor and timetravel_0. The posts, which began appearing in November 2000, discussed various aspects of time travel and described a future marred by calamitous events, including a global nuclear war. According to the posts, the alleged time traveler was sent back to 1975 to retrieve a specific IBM computer, which was needed to debug legacy computer programs in 2036. The individual claimed to have been selected for the mission because their paternal grandfather was directly involved in the assembly and programming of the IBM computer. The time traveler's posts also warned of the potential threat of Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease spread through beef products and the possibility of an upcoming civil war within the United States. They expressed interest in unexplained mysteries such as UFOs, suggesting that they might be time travelers from even further into the future. Despite the intrigue surrounding the posts, the uniform inaccuracy of the predictions and inconsistencies in the explanations led many to view the story with skepticism. Investigations have suggested that the entire affair may have been a hoax created by two brothers, a Florida entertainment lawyer and a computer scientist, although these claims have never been verified. The legacy of the John Titor story has grown over time, inspiring books, documentaries, and fictional works in popular culture. Judaculla Rock, a curvilinear-shaped soapstone outcrop located in the mountains of western North Carolina, is renowned for its ancient carvings and petroglyphs. The archaeological site, now owned by a local county, sits near a major branch of a northwestward trending river. The petroglyph boulder rests within a man-made bowl-shaped depression, surrounded by mowed turf grass and bordered by a thicket of river cane. Nearby, smaller outcroppings of soapstone bedrock bear scars left by ancient quarrying for soapstone bowl manufacture. The surface of the main boulder, which slants westward, is covered with a dense array of petroglyphs, making it difficult to distinguish among the carvings. A count of the patterns has revealed a substantial number of cup marks, curvilinear units, bowl-shaped depressions, stick-like figures, rills, concentric rings designs, curvilinear motifs, deer tracks, claw-like imprints, an arc, a cross and circle, and a winged shape. The petroglyphs were likely produced after soapstone bowl quarrying had ceased at the site, as evidenced by their overlap with the quarrying scars. Stylistic cross-dating suggests that the petroglyphs date between the Middle Woodland and Late Mississippian culture periods, roughly spanning from a few centuries into the Common Era to the early 15th century. Archaeological excavations around the boulder revealed extensively disturbed deposits, likely due to historic cultivation, but intact layers containing soapstone and lithic fragments from bowl manufacture were found upslope, probably dating to a few millennia before the Common Era. Judaculla Rock holds special significance for the Cherokee people, who continue to teach their oral history, linking the site to their slant-eyed master of game figure and the surrounding landscape. The petroglyph boulder is located on an old trail connecting former Cherokee townhouses and is regarded as spiritually significant by the federally recognized Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians and the Cherokee tribes in Oklahoma. From a rock art perspective, Judaculla Rock is notable for containing more petroglyphs than any other known boulder east of the Mississippi River. The intact deposits upslope provide physical traces of ancient soapstone quarrying and bowl manufacturing activities. The boulder's location and its connection to Cherokee stories of other petroglyph boulders in the region tie the Cherokee summer agricultural cultivation in the floodplains to their practice of fall and winter hunting in the uplands. The petroglyph boulders are likely stylized picture maps of the terrain where they are found, with Judaculla Rock serving as a physical representation of the entire landscape inhabited by the Cherokees. The preservation and interpretation of Judaculla Rock, a result of collaboration among various stakeholders, serves as a model for the sustainable conservation and management of rock art sites for future generations. The question of who was actually crucified at Calvary has been a subject of debate between Christians and Muslims. While the Bible states that Jesus Christ was crucified, the Quran suggests that God made it appear as though Jesus was crucified, but instead raised him to heaven and transformed another person to look like Jesus, who was then crucified in his place. Some believe this person may have been Judas, as described in the Gospel of Barnabas, a text that has been deemed a forgery. However, there is significant evidence within the biblical accounts that support the crucifixion of Jesus. The Roman soldiers who carried out the crucifixion were with Jesus from start to finish, and would have faced severe consequences for allowing the wrong person to be executed. The crowds, including Jewish religious leaders, also witnessed the crucifixion, as did Jesus' followers, such as his mother, aunt, and the disciple John, who would have recognized if it was not Jesus. Additionally, secret disciples like Nicodemus and Joseph of Arimathea took Jesus' body and buried it in a tomb. The lack of dissent or confusion about the identity of the crucified man, the unlikelihood of Judas remaining silent during the ordeal, and the absence of any recorded disputes when the disciples preached about Jesus' death further support the biblical account. Moreover, Jesus' sinless nature, as attested to by his disciples, makes it improbable that his life would end with a great deception. Ultimately, the crucifixion of Jesus is central to the Christian faith, as he served as the perfect sacrifice for the sins of the world. The Bible teaches that through belief in Jesus Christ and his death and resurrection, one can receive forgiveness of sins and eternal life. Jungian archetypes are universal, inherited patterns of thought or symbolic imagery derived from the collective unconscious, as proposed by Carl Jung. These archetypes are believed to be present in all individuals and are expressed in dreams, myths, and other cultural phenomena. Jung rejected the idea that humans are born as a blank slate, instead arguing that certain experiences and themes are inherent to the human condition. Archetypes are innate potentials that seek actualization within an individual's environment, shaping their personality and behavior. They are not specific images or forms, but rather like a blueprint or underlying framework that gives rise to specific representations. Jung likened archetypes to the invisible presence of crystal lattices in a saturated solution, ready to structure the crystallization process. While the number of archetypes is limitless, Jung identified several notable recurring archetypes, such as the mother, father, child, hero, wise old man, and trickster. These archetypes often combine and interchange qualities, making it difficult to delineate distinct archetypes. The process of individuation, or the development of a unique identity, is guided by archetypes as they seek fulfillment throughout the human life cycle. The concept of archetypes has been applied across various disciplines, including literature, film, marketing, and psychology. Archetypal literary criticism explores how archetypes shape the form and function of literary works, while archetypal pedagogy examines their role in education. In popular culture, archetypes are frequently used to create resonant and compelling characters, such as the hero archetype embodied by Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. Despite its influence, the theory of archetypes has faced criticism from various perspectives. Feminist critiques argue that archetypal theory can be reductionistic and promote stereotypical views of gender. Others argue that the universality of archetypes can decontextualize cultural expressions, ignoring their unique historical and cultural contexts. Nevertheless, the concept of Jungian archetypes continues to be explored and developed in various fields, offering a fascinating lens through which to examine the shared symbols and narratives that shape human experience. According to Hindu cosmology, the universe goes through cycles known as yugas, with each cycle lasting for millions of years. The current age is believed to be the Kali Yuga, which is considered the darkest and most spiritually degenerate of the four yugas. In this age, it is said that human consciousness becomes increasingly entangled with the material world, leading to a decline in virtue, wisdom, and spiritual understanding. Some see the advent of artificial intelligence as a hallmark of the Kali Yuga, representing humanity's growing obsession with technology and the external world. As AI becomes more advanced, there are concerns that it could lead to a further decline in human intelligence and creativity as people become increasingly reliant on machines to think and create for them. The fear is that as AI takes over more and more tasks, humans will lose their sense of purpose and become passive consumers of technology rather than active creators and thinkers. This could lead to a dumbing down of society as people lose the ability to think critically and engage with the world in a meaningful way. Kap Dwa is a purported two-headed giant from Patagonia. According to legend, this colossal being was either encountered by Spanish sailors in the late 17th century or discovered lifeless on a beach by Paraguayan natives. In both accounts, the preserved body eventually found its way to Britain and the United States, where it became a curious spectacle in sideshows and freak shows. While the idea of a genuine two-headed giant may seem far-fetched, it is not entirely impossible from a scientific standpoint. Gigantism, a condition that leads to extraordinary height, has been documented in cases such as Robert Wadlow, who reached nearly 9 feet tall. Similarly, conjoined twins with 2 heads, known as dicephalic parapagus twins, have been observed, albeit rarely surviving into adulthood. However, for Kap Dwa to be authentic, one would have to assume the highly unlikely scenario of dicephalic parapagus twins also being born with gigantism and overcoming the numerous health challenges associated with both conditions. The lack of thorough expert examination of the body and its association with the notorious showman P.T. Barnum, known for his elaborate hoaxes, further cast doubt on the giant's legitimacy. Moreover, the 19th and early 20th centuries saw the popularity of rogue taxidermy, an art form involving the reconstruction of corpses to resemble mythical creatures, including giants. Given these factors, along with the absence of indisputable evidence, it is more plausible that Kap Dwa is an intricate hoax rather than a genuine 2-headed Patagonian giant. Nonetheless, the tale of Kap Dwa continues to captivate the imagination, serving as a testament to the enduring allure of the extraordinary and the mysterious. On the vast cosmic scale, civilizations can evolve from humble beginnings to godlike entities, as envisioned by the Kardashev Scale. This fascinating framework categorizes civilizations based on their ability to harness and utilize energy, with each level representing exponential advancements in technology, knowledge, and influence. At the lowest end of the spectrum, a civilization relies solely on the resources of its home planet, using primitive energy sources. As they progress, they learn to harness the power of nuclear fusion, enabling them to venture into their solar system and make significant strides in healthcare and longevity. Further along the scale, civilizations become capable of tapping into the energy of nearby stars, potentially employing vast structures to capture and utilize this immense power. Poverty becomes a thing of the past as they expand their reach through space colonization. As civilizations continue to evolve, they extend their influence across entire galaxies, harnessing the energy of countless stars. They master technologies like anti-gravity and focus on unlocking the secrets of consciousness and immortality. At even higher levels, civilizations harness the unimaginable power of supernovas and explore the possibilities of creating life itself. They may even be responsible for the existence of lesser civilizations, appearing as divine beings in ancient myths and religions. The most advanced civilizations on the Kardashev Scale transcend the boundaries of our familiar universe, venturing into multiple dimensions and harnessing the energy of white holes. They ascend to higher planes of existence, gaining abilities that defy our understanding of reality, such as the manipulation of time itself. At the pinnacle of this cosmic hierarchy, the ultimate civilization grasps the fundamental nature of existence, wielding control over all matter, energy, and dimensions. These beings, incomprehensible to our limited minds, assume the role of gods among gods, shaping the very fabric of reality according to their will. In 1931, psychologist Winthrop Niles Kellogg and his wife undertook a unique experiment, raising a baby chimpanzee named Dwa alongside their human infant Donald. Their aim was to explore how environment influences development and whether a chimp raised like a human could behave similarly. Kellogg had long been intrigued by wild children raised without human contact and saw this experiment as an opportunity to investigate such dynamics without ethical concerns. Over 9 months, both babies were subjected to identical conditions, undergoing various scientific tests and examinations. Initially, Dwa appeared to outperform Donald in many aspects, surprising the researchers. However, Dwa eventually reached a cognitive limit, unable to surpass her inherent chimpanzee nature despite the nurturing environment. The experiment abruptly concluded in March 1932 when Dwa was returned to a primate colony. The reasons for ending the study remain uncertain, but may include exhaustion from constant care, concerns about Dwa's growing strength, or emerging language differences between Donald and Dwa that could have impacted the study's validity.